Mama. I'm Courtney Cecil, proud mom of two boys and an organizational culture and behavior change executive. And I'm a believer in building a movement to help the burned out, overwhelmed working moms reclaim their control and free time so that they can confidently remain in the workforce without losing the sanity or themselves. Now, let's get started.
Hey, y'all, I'm your host, Courtney Cecil, and welcome back to another episode of the Life Management System. Inside this episode, we're going to talk about how to care for your marriage while you're also just trying to survive this crazy stage of life that is already feeling super full. And I am choosing to talk about this today because I am celebrating 19 years with my husband, Richard. So when we first started dating, let me set the stage for you. We both studied industrial and systems engineering. We met in a class called Facilities Layout and Planning, and it was exactly what it sounds like. We learned how to lay out a facilities type plant to optimize space. So that is something that I actually ironically now do with my clients, helping them figure out where to put things inside their house to optimize the movement. Well, that's kind of what we were learning in that class. So we went to Virginia Tech, which was a fantastic engineering school. Our program is ranked anywhere consistently in the top 10. And we were at a horse race down the road, in Charlottesville, Virginia. And on our bus ride back, the two of us sat there. We didn't know each other that well. We kind of started quasi running around with the same crowd about that time. But we were on our way back from this horse race, and the two of us stayed up and started chatting. Everybody else, I think, had passed out at this point. And we started talking about what a meaningful role our stay-at-home moms had in our lives and how much that our experience was enriched because we had stay-at-home moms. It was both very instrumental to who we were, who we are now, and something we agreed we wanted for our future families. And I'll be damned, guys, if that wasn't exactly what the tipping point was to open the doors to us dating. It was that very conversation. So it's just ironic that here I am now, 19 years later, talking to you as the founder of a company called Working Moms Movement. And the reason that I started this company is because it is so important to me that if you choose to stay in your career, you don't lose yourself, you don't lose your life, you don't lose the identity of who you used to be in becoming a mom. So it is in the spirit of that I specifically want to talk about your marriage today. Before we do, though, I need to myth bust something. It's important that you also understand there is never such thing as equal balance in all the things, but especially our marriage. So I'm sure at this point you've experienced that your household workload distribution is certainly not 50-50. Like it's not like you're owning 50% of the tasks and your partner's owning the other 50%. The same thing happens at work. If you're working with a team, of course it's not going to be 50-50 distribution of y'all owning tasks. Or if you were a business partner in a practice, same thing. Like nothing is ever 50-50. And the same goes for the distribution of your relationships at home. It's never going to be 50-50 with your kids and your life, or your marriage, or your kids and home and work, or whatever. Like it's just not realistic. Life is not balanced that perfectly. There will be a time where your kids are out of the house and your marriage all of a sudden gets the bulk of your attention. And that might not be now, but my hope for you in this conversation is to talk about simple ways that you can keep that spark alive so that when your kids are out of the house and you do have more time for your marriage, there's still something there. There's something that you get to look forward to about that stage in life. Okay, friends. So I'm about to give you a handful of ways that you can care for your marriage while still balancing your career and raising your young kids. The first, appreciate those micro connections. So what I mean by that is think about a good hug. Like a really, really good hug can change everything. Take 30 seconds, like a full 30 seconds, and just sit there and hold each other. Or maybe send a spicy text, or maybe just share a clink of your coffee mugs in the morning and share one thing with each other that you're really looking forward to. You're like It doesn't have to be a lot. Those little tiny things that take 30 seconds can help you continue to fill your cup up with each other. The second, schedule date nights. So often I find the women that I work with are just blindly going through life and it just kind of happens. And I'm not asking you to be as intentional and calculated as I am. I understand and appreciate that I'm like next level as it relates to that. All I'm asking for you to do, though, is actually intentionally find time to spend with your spouse. And the best way you can do that is actually schedule a date night. It doesn't matter if it's once a week for you or once a month for you. It's whatever works for y'all. It's more that you just do it. So it might be like my parents, they're precious, but they're also, they have three grown kids. So they don't have us at home. But for them, it was Wednesday nights. That's their thing, every Wednesday night. For Richard and me, it tends to be Fridays. That's at the end of the week when we just really need to connect with each other because we've been going a million miles a minute. So it's Friday. So for us, we always play, it's a ring game, like a ring toss game that we have posted on the side of our house. We will turn in some really great music. We will make a special cocktail and we will go out and just play that ring game and listen and chat and talk. So that's our favorite kind of connection point. We also do a lot of paddleboarding. The point is, it doesn't matter what you do, you just got to find something, you got to prioritize it. And it's important that you do that without TV. So a lot of times, a lot of couples that I work with, or sometimes I'll work with a couple, sometimes it's just the mom, and I'm working through the mom to help the marriage. But a lot of couples that I engage with is probably the best way to put it think they're spending a lot of time together, but that time is in front of a TV where you're just like falling and becoming one with the couch. That's not the same thing. I want you to have an actual hobby together where you're engaging in conversation. And if you feel like you've lost it and you need to find something that will kind of create that spark again for your date nights, or you don't have a hobby together, find something, identify something. Like my parents, when we moved out, found themselves in a place where they're like, oh my gosh, we have spent the entire time taking care of kids. Now we have to refine ourselves. So they took up shag dancing, which is kind of like the swing. But if you don't have something, try to find a hobby. And if hobbying is not your thing, like Richard and me, we took up paddleboarding. If hobbying isn't your thing, then use table topics. So table topics, I will link them in the show notes. Table topics is the best way for you to have meaningful conversations where you really get to unpack life together, where you get to talk about what's beneath the surface of you. And they're a little pack of cards. They're about $20. Again, I will link this in the show notes. And it's the perfect way for you to have meaningful, rich conversations together without having to put in the workload of facilitating the conversation. So use those to guide you, but schedule the date nights. It doesn't have to be a night out on the town. We did not have childcare or home care or family around to enable us to get out of the house. So we just did this at home. We'd put the boys down to bed and then we'd have date night at home. It doesn't have to be fancy. The next thing, and the table topics will help with this if you decide to invest that $20 in those. Dream together. Dream together. Like, I want you unpacking what it is, like those major life milestones that are coming next for you. Dream about your next kid's name. Dream about the next house you want to buy. Dream about the home renovations you're going to have, or the next vacation you want to take together, or what your career progression or retirement life will look like. The point is, I want you sketching your life together because when you have a shared vision, that's going to keep you connected and keep you committed to creating that vision together. And it's so much fun. This is the kind of stuff that we would do when we would be outside playing the ring game. So it was important to us that we created a house where our kids would be proud and want to entertain their friends and bring their friends over here. And part of that experience for us was investing in a pool. And we saved 3 years for this pool. We're very fortunate to be able to put it in. But for many, many years, we'd sit outside and play the dream game and dream up that pool. Before that, we did the same thing with a house. Like we spent 5, 10 years dreaming up what our future house would look like. It was so much fun, but it also enabled us to make sure we are aligned on what it is that we're saving for and what experience we're trying to create in our life. So that dreaming really continued to unite us, and still to this day is what keeps us aligned and rowing in the same direction. Okay, the next thing on the list, outsource. I spend a lot of time talking about and teaching delegation. And for some people, they do not believe they can outsource. And I can buy that. I can just flatter the notion of you feeling like you don't have the finances to outsource. I talk about this a lot. It doesn't have to be expensive. $100 a week is all you need to get rid of things. At a minimum, as a mom, I need you delegating to your partner and your kids. But if you are in the financial place where you feel like you have $100 a week, I want you getting rid of the things and giving it away to somebody else. If you need help with that, that's what I do, or part of what I do, I should say. But $100 a week can buy back so much of your time so that you and your spouse are spending time on things that are your highest and best use. So, as an example, my husband was like, okay, we have 2 acres. So, let me preface that. We have a lot of land. And that land, when we bought the property, had almost no savable trees. So we have a lot of yard. It's great for 2 boys. The two of them and our next door neighbor are constantly outdoors playing baseball and football and soccer and frisbee golf and all the things. But we have a lot of yard. And my husband was like, okay, we could save $400 a month if we do the yard ourselves. Yeah, that's a lot of money. I mean, $400 a month makes me sick to think we're paying somebody else to do that. And he was so committed to mowing the lawn himself because it saves us $400. But you know what I continued to push back on him is that's our free time. That's the difference of us being able to say, yes, let's go hang out with friends versus no, I'm sorry, we can't hang out with you because we have to go mow our lawn. Or that's the difference between us being able to relax at the end of the day together versus him having to go out and mow the lawn. So you need to protect your partner's time like you protect your own time because they're equally as valuable. And that's what's going to allow you the space and the energy to be able to invest in each other. Okay, the next thing on my list, stop keeping score. You are a team, you're on the same team, you win together. So if you're intentional about creating balance in that marriage and you're intentional about honoring each other's needs, I promise it's going to work out. Again, it's never going to be 50-50. But what I don't want you saying is, or thinking is, I did X, so you owe me Y. That mindset is extra toxic to a marriage. And I actually focus, y'all, a good bit on that in my program and when I work with my clients, because it is so important that you are aligned in your marriage and that you have a shared value system together that you both believe in and invest in and are aligned on. Because when you are, it helps facilitate more equitable distribution of workload at home. If you feel like you are the one carrying the mental load solely, or you are the one carrying the physical load solely, or that you are resentful and chippy with your partner because you feel like you are taking on a lot more than them, know that it's normal. I wish for you it's not. I wish for you that you can be at peace. But part of what I do is help clients with that problem, help them work through creating a more equitable distribution at home and aligning with their partner on what their needs are. So if you feel like you need extra help, know that that's what I do or part of what I do. I would love an exploratory call with you, and we can talk about some of what I do with my coaching clients. So if that's you, send me an email. I'm going to drop my email in the show notes, but also you can go to Courtney at workingmomsmovement.com. You can email me there, or you can go to workingmomsmovement.com/enroll. If you do either of those things, just make sure you cite this podcast. So if you email me, just let me know that you listened to this podcast and that's how you learned about it. If you go straight to my website and want to invest immediately in the coaching program, I welcome you. Use LMSPOD, LMS Pod for $100 off. And I, once again, will also drop that in the show notes. So beyond that, the next thing on the list, proactively communicate your needs. The other person, your spouse is never going to know what you are feeling unless you share it. And if you need more help on that, or if you are feeling like you are alone, or you are feeling like you are lacking affection, or you feel like you're beginning to resent your partner, a lot of that is just begging for you to be more communicative. And at the end of the day, y'all, we are humans, and humans inherently want to be seen and heard and felt. So I'm sure that there's something therapeutic that will come out of you sharing and being more forthright with your communication, because after all, you're human and you want to be seen and heard. And if you haven't done this, I also encourage you to take the love languages quiz. I'm going to drop that in the show notes as well. It's amazing. So my love language is service. I very much appreciate when my husband leans in and takes things off my plate because I'm so sensitive to time. My sister's love language, as an example, is touch. She needs her people. She needs her husband and her two daughters touching her dog touching her at all times. It's amazing what can be unlocked when you understand the weight of the person's heart and how they both give and receive love. So I'm going to drop that in the show notes. It's free, but it is absolutely insightful in helping you understand what your partner's needs are and how to meet them. Okay, the last, share your appreciation because you want to feel seen and heard. It feels really good to be appreciated. When your spouse says, you know what, thank you for doing this for me, or I see that it's been a hard day and I just want you to know I really appreciate you still taking the time to get dinner on the table. Or, hey, it really meant a lot that you took our kid to their pediatrician's appointment so it would free me up to attend this meeting. Whatever it may be, that outward appreciation is you demonstrating that you see them and that you are really taking note of what it is and how they're contributing to your marriage. And that creates goodwill. It also creates connection. It creates connection. So anytime that you are feeling like losing sight of your marriage, if you appreciate them, you will start to see them as and how they healthily contribute to your life as opposed to how they drain you. Okay, last on this list, love each other. And I know that sounds so basic, but love each other. So I'm a huge fan of Stephen Covey. He was the author of Seven Principles of Highly Effective People. In fact, I'm such a believer in his work. I'm such a believer in what he talks about that I actually send my boys to a leadership-based school based on those seven principles. And a lot of what I do in my corporate job, leading culture, is also based on those seven principles. But inside his book, he's talking about this couple that he was working with that was struggling in their marriage. And his coaching to them was very simple. He said, love each other. So think about it. Think back to those days where you were just starting to date, where you would pick up their favorite coffee on the way back home from class, in my opinion, like my story. Or you were turning down their side of the bed when you first got married, or you were giving them a little back rub, or you were greeting them at the end of a hard work week with a glass of, a cold beverage and their favorite music was on and that sort of thing. Like those are the little things that keep that spark alive, but it also is you leaning into your marriage. So love each other because remember, before you were parents, you were friends and you were partners. So I want you laughing and dreaming and having fun together, even if it is in those micro bursts, because that's what's going to keep things alive. Okay, friends, until next time, if nobody's told you lately, you're doing a great job. It's been a pleasure. As always, thanks for tuning in. You got this, Mama.